Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stand. We are live here for what is going to be an absolutely massive game. It's Manchester United at Arsenal. Look, team news is out. You can see it on the screen in a moment. We've got a couple of interesting absentees. No Scott McTominay, no Jadon Sancho. I'm sure Erik ten Hag will provide us some sort of update as to why that is very, very soon. But look, no Thomas Partey for Arsenal as well. It's other teams have injuries. We've got injuries. No Varane, no Luke Shaw, as we know. No Amrabat. We didn't sign him in time. Rasmus is on the bench, so we've got him on the bench as well. It's going to be interesting. I agree with Hilty. He says Havertz is starting. That's always a good thing. Absolutely agree with that. I do. I think that Havertz in the midfield. My big fear about Man United, and I look at that team of United today, and I worry about the midfield. You look at the bench, which I'll go through in a moment, and I think that. I look at that midfield, and I think Bruno and Eriksen and Casemiro. There's just not enough there. There's not enough cover there if we're going to get dominated, or if Arsenal get their tails up at home. I think we could get smothered and dominated. And then you look at the bench and you go, well, right, okay, Garnacho, Pellistri, they're wingers. Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire are centre-backs. Reguilon is a full-back. Højlund is a striker. And then you've got Gore and Mabry, who are just young lads. They're just young lads. So I think it's going to be a challenge for United. And when does Christian Eriksen ever play 90 minutes? I think is a good point as well. Obviously, Amrabat will come into that team. He's not ready at the moment. But I said this before. I mean, look, Scott McTominay, injured or not, there's an interesting point about Scott McTominay that I've been saying this for so long. We're going to lose 5-0 to Stuart Walker. But I've been saying about this McTominay for about 2 or 3 years now. He's actually really injury prone. And nobody wants to acknowledge it. Like, he really is injury prone. And if he's injured again today, well, we should have took the £30 million from West Ham. And we know we should have done, because he's not worth 30 million quid. But if you look at McTominay, even in the last 2 years, he's had groin injury, foot injury, knee injury. He's had 2 injuries this year alone. In January, he was out until the middle of February. In April, he was out until the middle of May. He does pick up a lot of injuries, McTominay. And ultimately, he's not good enough. And ultimately, he picks up a lot of injuries. So, I mean, we should have took the 30 million. There's not much we can say about that now. But, I do worry about the midfield. And I don't think Amrabat was enough. I think we needed more than that. Their midfield is weaker than ours, I would say. This is Trey. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, Trey. Declan Rice is a good player. Odegaard is a good player. Yeah, I mean, Havertz, it probably isn't. Stuck on FPL draft. Currently have March, Mbumo, Diaz, Pereira and Luis in midfield. Szoboszlai and Havertz are available. Worth changing anyone, says Jake. It's not an FPL channel. I think you're on the wrong one. King, welcome to Members Club. Thank you very much there. I think with regards to the game, there's the league table. I don't really like looking at the league table, but we are where we are. We're waiting to hear on Jadon Sancho. We're waiting to hear on Scott McTominay. Neither are on the bench. As I say, the bench includes the new goalkeeper, Binder. We've got Reguilon on there, Maguire and Evans. So, yeah, nothing to get excited about. You've got Gore and Mabry, Pellistri, Garnacho and Højlund. It's not really a very well, experienced isn't the word. It's not got a lot of experience on there. And, there's some players on there that you'd be a little bit worried about. I've gone with a draw today. I think people who write Erik ten Hag off do it at their own peril. But, as we know, it's always going to have the potential for it to go wrong. It's Man United away from home. And I think it's really important to say our away record is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Under Ten Hag, it's terrible. I think we beat somebody in the top 10 last year. I think it was Fulham. But our away record is absolutely abysmal. So we're fighting that against the second best team in England. I prefer Pellistri over Anthony, to be honest, says Emmanuel. And clearly sick of Bay and Donny, says Robert McCormack. Is today the day we get what's coming to us, Mark, says Enjoy Writing. Well, I hate to say this because I have predicted that twice this season we will get battered. And when I say battered, I mean 3, 4, 5-0. I'm absolutely convinced it will happen at some point. I hope it's not going to be today because I've said a draw, but it will happen at some point because I still think the mentality of the team isn't right. I still think there's going to be times this season where Erik ten Hag says the players didn't do what I want to do. In fact, he's already said it. He said it after Spurs. He said for half an hour they were good and then they didn't do it. I think that's probably... But I look back to the Emirates in, was it January, when we didn't have Casemiro, so it might have been February, and we played really well in the first half an hour. Rashford scored that absolutely brilliant goal, and we played really well. So you can never underestimate Ten Hag, you can never underestimate what he can do, and I think that's my positive here. Because there's a whole bigger picture. I did the video this morning, I know a lot of you watched it, about the sale of Manchester United. I'm not really here to talk about the sale of Manchester United because Man United at Arsenal is a big game. It's a treat. We only get 2 of these a season. I'm going to enjoy the game for what it is, just the same as I enjoyed Arsenal Man United 20 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm going to enjoy this game. As a Man United fan, I'm not going to be told by somebody that it doesn't matter because there's bigger things to worry about. It's Arsenal against Man United. It's the core of what we are, football. I'm going to enjoy this game, hopefully. But in relation to the sale, I said it last night. I think a lot of people overreacted. In relation to the sale, I did a video this morning and I said a lot of people have overreacted. They're stirring things up off their own insecurity and fear. I don't for 1 minute think that story is true. I do not for 1 minute think that they are pulling out of the sale. I know Sky have come out and said that they've heard from everybody that that's not the case. We've spoken to a few people who've said, look, Qatar, Sir Jim, the Rain Group, none of them have been informed that the Glazers are out of a sale. So there's no reason to be worried about it. I'm not worried about it. I don't know when we'll get sold. We might not get sold for another year. We might not get sold at all. I don't know. But I'm not worried about that at the moment. What I am worried about is that we, are really weak in the midfield. That Amrabat's been sat there for 2 months waiting to come to United. That Amrabat should be playing today. And that Amrabat isn't playing today because United couldn't afford to buy him and had to wait till the final day to do a loan deal. And yet some people think the Glazers are in a position to go, we're not selling. They've got no bloody money. I mean, I don't know how people haven't got the brain cells to go, we couldn't afford to buy Amrabat, who is going to be a first team player. We had to do a loan deal. We couldn't afford to buy Amrabat for 25 million. And yet people think the Glazers are in a position to go, yeah, we're not going to sell anymore. They're screwed. They need money. Old Trafford is rusting. They've got no money. If they stay, and you thought that was a bad transfer window, watch what's going to happen next summer. There's no money in the club. There's no money about to come into the club. So I'm not worried. The sale will take care of itself. Afternoon, guys. Let's win this. Come on, Rashford. Where's Rasmus and Sancho? Not looking good, bruv, says T. And despite all the negativity, I believe Ten Hag can get these players ready for it. Yeah, I think, Ryan, you're right. I think Erik ten Hag is always the positive as far as I'm concerned. Can we do it? Yeah, we can do it. Of course we can. Are Arsenal the favourites? Yes, they are. They have to be the favourites. They finished second last season. They had a very good season. I don't think they've... I don't think they've lost that many games at home at all in the last year. I know they lost to Brighton at the back end of last season, but I think they were still suffering from the hangover of not winning the league. They'll be disappointed with what they did against Fulham last week. Of course they will. But, that could be a reaction in itself. Ten Hag, a few comments coming in from Ten Hag here. I don't know whether he's been asked a direct question. This is a bit disappointing. So he said that the lineup has been successful many times. Højlund has 1 week of training, but he doesn't have game practice so far with us. It's best to start on the bench and come on. He's really hungry. I sort of agree with that. I do agree with that. I'd love Højlund to have started, but I can see the logic in him being on the bench, I've got to admit. He says, we bought the Sun from Manchester. We're always positive. We can't wait. It's a great game. We have to be very good, and we know it. We like this kind of challenge, and we have to be up for it and the occasion. Højlund able to make an impact coming off the bench. I'm sure he's hungry, and that's what we like about him too. 3 points, that's all it's about. That's Ten Hag's words. And on Thomas Partey's injury, all the teams have injuries. We have to deal with them, but they still have good players and a good team just like us. So it doesn't look like Ten Hag has been asked about Jadon Sancho or Scott McTominay, which is odd. There must be a quote about that somewhere because it makes no sense. It makes no sense to not be asked about that. So, yeah, I don't know. And I suppose there's always going to be that bit of concern in the fan base about Jadon Sancho and what happened around this time last year where, he disappeared for 3 months because of issues. We certainly don't want that. Look, what I would say about that is you've got to be very, very careful because if it's mental health doesn't just disappear. So, look, we have to be very sensitive and very careful about that. Hopefully there is an explanation that isn't anything that's going to be too long term. I mean, look, I'm not a big fan of Scott McTominay. I think he should be playing for West Ham and we should have £30 million in our back pocket. But ultimately, he's still a Man United player that we could have done with on the bench today. So, it's disappointing not having Scott McTominay and Jadon Sancho, regardless of what you think of those players. As bench options, it would have been nice to have them. And we're playing a very big game here. Hi, Mark, says Luke. And also, can I just say this? Well, I can, because it's my show. Our show. If we lose today, 6 points from 2 games from 12 points is a shit start. So there is a pressure on this game today, and it concerns me that Amrabat's not here. That was in our control. So we've got no Amrabat, no Luke Shaw, no Varane, no Jadon Sancho, no Scott McTominay. It's a concern. Mark, the club isn't going to be sold a year from now, says Kyle. You don't know that, Kyle. Stop scaremongering. And let's just get rid of you. G's, let me get rid of you as well. It could have gone to Fulham and replaced Paulina, says Alvio. And Casey says, agreed, Sancho can't be missing any more games, especially being the highest paid on the team. Well, we don't know. And I don't know for what reason Erik Ten Hag isn't answering questions about that, if I'm being honest. But we'll go with what we've got. I get it. How are we feeling? Welcome to the Members Club, Paul Shannon. 43% have gone with a United win, 19% have gone with a draw, and 38% have gone with an Arsenal win. I've got to say, I think the polls are brilliant, but I have found over the years that the poll is, in fact, it's a waste of time. That's what I'm trying to say. Because even if we were at Anfield, you'd still vote United are going to win. So, yeah, I think we just get red-tinted glasses, if I'm being honest with you. How are we feeling about the game? Look, if we didn't have Erik Ten Hag in charge, I would probably say I think we're going to lose. And I'll explain why in a minute. It's not about being negative. I'm ultra positive in relation to Ten Hag. So I would probably think we're going to lose. However, Erik Ten Hag, I have learnt in a very short period of time, has this ability of pulling a result out that you don't really think is possible. And I've said this so many times as well. When we went to Anfield last year, we were positive and we got battered. When we went to the Etihad this time last year, we were positive and we got battered. In other times that we've been to Anfield or the Etihad and we think we're going to get battered, we've got a good result. So I always think with United, when we're a little bit worried before the game, we tend to get a good result. And when we're a little bit confident before a game, we tend to get a bad result. Now that's weak mentality on the players. But that's why I think we might get a result. Because I think the players all week will have been thinking we might get battered here. And that will focus their minds. But I think if we'd been doing really well and they went into it going, we're going to win, and then it's a hard game, their mentality drops. I think I've got the blueprint to Man United's players' mentality. And I think many of you have as well. When our backs are up against the wall, we tend to play well. When we think we're better than we are, we tend to drop the ball. So I'm hoping that all the signs are that we're going to get a good result and that the players will be focused. What are we going to do if Eriksen gasses out? Mark, says Jerome. I want to see fight from the players, not roll over. Fulham put up a fight at the Emirates, says Kay. And Hoyland with the gladiator theme today. Love the United Stand Army, says 2L. Well, look, I think looking at the United team there, the reason you know why I'm positive. I've just explained it. It's Ten Hag. The reason I'd be negative is Lindelof and Martinez. Well, Martinez hasn't been that good this season, and Lindelof ain't Varane. Dalot is not Luke Shaw. Eriksen and Bruno and Casemiro, I don't like that balance away from home. I think when you're at home and you're going to have 80% of the ball, fine. But when you're playing Arsenal and you're going to have to defend, we're basically playing 2 number 10s in midfield. That's my problem. Eriksen is not a midfielder. He is a number 10. So that worries me. On the other hand, well, Arsenal are doing the same. But the problem is that becomes more of a problem. Because if Arsenal have more of the ball, they've got 2 number 10s in their midfield. And if we're defending, we've got 2 number 10s in our midfield. So it doesn't help. Martial, obviously I like Martial, but I know a lot of people will be concerned with him. Anthony, you never know what you're going to get. And Rashford, look, he's in my fancy Premier League team. Let's hope he does something. But I can see United doing something here. I can. But I can also see why people would be concerned. And I will say, at some point, I do think we are going to get battered. Because I just still think we haven't gone past that. Very excited to see Rasmus. He looks very excited on the screen. He looks ready. He's so young. He's so young, though, you know. He's not a gladiator yet. He's 20 years of age. He's so young. He's ready to go. He's hungry. But we can't overstate that, you know, he's not walking in like Erling Haaland. He's not that player yet. I've only just joined the chat, so apologies if you already covered this. But has Ten Hag put Reguilon on the bench? He hasn't trained with the team yet, says Sean. He is on the bench, yes. Absolute madness to pass up on 30 million for Scott McTominay. Southgate picking Maguire with no games also screwed us. I'm trying to stay positive for today, says Kieran. I think we're on a knife edge. Here, Kieran. You know what? I really do. I said this in the week. This is such a pivotal game for Manchester United because if we lose, look, we're on 6 points. We're miles off the top, and you know we're miles off Spurs. We're miles off Liverpool. We're miles off West Ham. If we win, we've got 9 points and we're into 5th place with Brighton. So I think it's such a big game in the mood that we take into the international break. Now, remember, we've got Brighton at home after the international break. So we win this game, which I don't think we will. Draw it. I think that's what I'm going to go for. But we lose this game and this fan base is in a very negative place for the next couple of weeks. So it's pivotal. And... you know, somebody said to me last night, where was I last night? Oh, no, it wasn't last night. It must have been Friday. I was having a pint and somebody said to me, we're talking about Man United, and they said, it's season over if you lose on Sunday. I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? They said, no, listen to me, your season's over if you lose on Sunday. I'm like, how can it be season over after 4 games? Your season should be about challenging Arsenal for 2nd place. You lose on Sunday, you got 6 points from 12. Those lot are going to move far away from you. You'll just be fighting for 4th or 5th. That's not what United should be doing this season. I said, well, it's not season over then, is it? It's expectation. And they said, yeah, but still season over. But I think it is a big game. It is a big game. Could you have Bruno in the back with Casemiro, with Sancho at 10? Not at the moment, the society, because we don't know where bloody Jadon Sancho is. Is Reguilon on the bench today? Also, thoughts on him as a signing? I'm not happy with the signing, Luke, because we did it because it was cheap. Rasmus' haircut is giving me teenage Ronaldo vibes, says Hader. Thank you very much, pal. Hope you're doing well. Old school Hader, he is. Been with us for a long time. Last season, 4 games, 6 points, says Lord. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But I think this season is already going to be harder than last season. Last season, you had Man City and Arsenal, and then everybody else. This season, you're going to have Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, maybe Spurs. Who knows what's going to happen with Chelsea? It's a harder season this year. You know it's going to be harder. Really, top 4 was between us and Newcastle. Liverpool fell away, Chelsea fell away, Spurs fell away. They could all be back. It's going to be a hard season this season. Sean McGovern, thank you very much for the super chat there. What was I going to say? Something I was going to say. Completely forgotten about it. You made me forget. Yeah, Newcastle maybe aren't going to have such a good season this year. We'll have to wait. Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to have a quick look because I saw Ten Hag talking to Sky, and I wondered if he'd spoken about Sancho. We don't know what's happening with Sancho. We don't know what's happening with Scott McTominay. There was a rumour going around that Anthony Martial was injured. But I don't genuinely think there was anything in it. So I don't think I don't think he's passed a late fitness test or anything like that. Ten Hag just talking about the game being a special game. It's almost like United are refusing to comment on Jadon Sancho, isn't it? I mean, we just don't need any more dramas. We don't need any more dramas, do we? I mean, we've got such a big game. I'm very excited about it. I hope you are as well. But can I just say this? And I need to stop saying that because I can say it. Man United is in ruins behind the scene. It's a shambles. It's a complete and utter shambles at Manchester United. And that is the God's honest truth. It is a shambles at Manchester United. So who knows what's going on behind the scenes now? Who comes on if you get an injury in defence? Maguire or Evans, says Jimmy. I personally think it'll be Maguire. Barcelona bought Cancelo for the fee we bought Reguilon with, says Mohammed. Melbourne is represented, says Hader. Thanks, pal. And Hader says, TUS, been here for years. I recognised the name, mate. I just hadn't seen it for a while. So, yeah, thanks, pal. Hope you're doing really well. Appreciate that. What's going on here? It's fine. Super chat coming in from Sabatashi. He says, we can see this team fell through the season with no proper backup in any positions, Sabatashi. I think it's the fall of Rome, says Eduardo. I think I think this game is really symbolic. And I know you can fall into the bullshit. Of course you can, and hype and lies and all that. Of course you can. I completely agree, but I do think that this game is massively symbolic for Manchester United, because if we were to get beat and beat badly, people are just going to ignore us, and we'll be left to pick up the pieces as a fan base, but we'll just be out of the conversation. Liverpool won't be looking at Manchester United. Arsenal won't be looking at Manchester United. The rest of the Premier League will not be looking at Manchester United. We will just be, back in the wilderness again. On the other hand, if we win this game, the confidence goes through the roof. If we lose this game, I don't think we're going to have a terrible season. But if we lose this game, we already know what the season's going to be. And the season will be fighting for fourth or fifth. Because we won't be getting top three if we lose this game. I've seen Liverpool play 3 times now. They look really good. If Arsenal beat us, we're not going to catch them. And we're never going to catch Man City anyway. So today, if we lose, I think we're looking at 4th or 5th. Not definitely, but I think that will happen. And can I just say as well, a lot of people say, how has Ange got Spurs playing good football already? How has De Zerbi done it so quick? Why hasn't Ten Hag done it? In some ways, it's a fair question. I think there are layers to it. I think the quality of players that Ten Hag has inherited has made it difficult to play a good brand of football. And what I'm saying is, I don't think Ange or De Zerbi would get these players playing well. But on the other hand, maybe they would. But I think the big thing I would say is, look at Jurgen Klopp. Look at Liverpool. in the space of 3 months, they've revolutionised their midfield. They've completely and utterly built a new midfield, and it's functioning already at a very high level. Sam Yates, thank you very much for your super chats. I'm struggling to be optimistic about this, says Vincent. Obviously, I hope we win, but considering the team's recent attitude, I have to worry. Bruno and Rashford need to have a good game. Casemiro's form will be key for us getting a result, says Eden, and also UTS. Right, I'm here. I'm just gonna quickly go for a wee. I'm desperate. I'm excited. I'm back. There we go. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. How long will the excitement last? That's always the big thing, isn't it? So no update on Jadon Sancho. No update on Scott McTominay. Weird. Very weird. You'd imagine injury. Maybe it's nothing more sinister than that, but I'm sure the truth will come out sooner rather than later. Thanks everybody who's tuning in, by the way. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Rasmus is on the bench. Thank you very much. Ramsdale still in goal for them. Hadn't actually thought about that. Why are people laughing at Sancho, says Average. I've not seen anybody laughing about Sancho. Jesus is on the bench for Arsenal, if that means anything to anybody. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, by the way. Get involved with the United Stand. You're all very welcome. Oh, I need to sort my timer out. Timer bridge. Okay, where are we? No, we don't want you in that colour. Get your filter off. There we go. Commentators mentioned skirmishes in the tunnel before the game in previous matchups could never be our players with enough passion for that. So Stuart Walker, yeah, those days are gone. If we can get 9 points out of 11, then I'll be happy with that. Doesn't excuse poor play, but it does mean we're on the right track. It's all about points, Slow Sports News. Ten Hag said exactly the same. And strange signing David Raya to not play him yet, says UK Enterprise. And sorry for the stupid question, why aren't Varane and Martinez playing, says Jackson. Well, Martinez is playing. And Varane isn't playing because he's injured. So Anthony Taylor's the referee. Yeah. Yeah. You know what my thoughts on that are going to be. He's about ready to start anyway. Lovely sunny day in London. They're singing. They're bloody singing. And Man United are going to kick off with Bruno. Anthony Taylor's about ready to go here. Chelsea's better than Man United. Why do we always get idiots in the chat? What's that got to do with anything? You've lost, mate. And no one really cares. Touchdown base, you make me feel funny. And Arna just chipping it out. So, yeah, okay. Let's see how it goes. Well, we started off really well in the game again at the Emirates last season. So, you know, maybe that could happen again. Been kicking up a storm since the day that I was born. Open up your eyes. Get a grip of yourself inside. Right, I'm focused now. Arsenal, as soon as I look at the screen, are through down the left-hand side with Martinelli. They're queuing up. Bloody hell. What's the bloody defence doing there? Not picking up the midfield runners already. First minute, not picking up the midfield runners. Casemiro isolated again, says Christopher. Exactly. That if they got that cutback right to Odegaard there, it's 1-0 and he should have done. Absolutely ridiculous. Losing runners again. Bloody hell. There's so much space out there. We've got to start well. We've got to start well. We can't give the impetus to Arsenal. And we've got to get hold of the ball. We can't just play counter-attacking football. Arsenal starting energetically. That's a better shape from United. Bruno nicely next to Eriksen. I think we're all right in these positions. We're quite well set up in this position. Martinelli wants to run at Wan-Bissaka though, which is a corner. Can't sit back, says Real Life. I mean, in some ways, sitting back's not a bad idea. Ten Hag is not the man for United, says Rex. Yeah, come on, shut up. Shut up. Oh, God. Get it out. Goal kick. It's a bit of a... Well, it's early days. We're not going to panic too much. But, yeah, way too early, 2 minutes, to really understand what United are about. But sluggish, we are. We need to slow the pace down, says Ryan. Exactly. 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 You're absolutely spot on. Trying to establish what the tactics are here. Casemiro on his own. Eriksen looks dead after 60 seconds, says Nicholas Walker. I mean, Onana's sort of... Yeah. I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't like this. There's too much space if it goes wrong. We're trying to pass through the press, but there's... Yeah, I do not like what we're doing here. We're inviting pressure. I do not like this. Okay, now we've got away with it there. Now, we broke the press. Chicago Fire FC is the future, says Mad. And, well, we've got up the pitch with Anthony. It was a bit touch and go there, but we did play through the press, and that's the rewards. That is the rewards if you play through it. Yeah, watch the body language is a very good point from Aiden. The trouble with all this pressing is that it's a bit like making a sandwich without the bread. You need the bread. You can have all the ingredients for pressing, but if you haven't got the bread, you can't make a sandwich. And I just feel at the moment we're trying to be that team. I mean, Onana there has nearly been tackled by Nketiah halfway into his own bloody half. He hasn't. He was very calm because he's that sort of goalkeeper. But, yeah. What's the bread is the great point. Who's the bread that's going to make this all work? I don't know. Either the players have got to learn to be the bread or we're going to have to buy the bread. But I don't think we're... Look, you look at Man City... They can ping the ball around for fun. I don't think this Man United side looks comfortable in possession. And I always said that. You can bring a ball-playing goalkeeper in, but I don't think we've got ball-playing midfielders and defenders yet. He definitely wants to play that brand of football. I'll tip my hat to that. But we don't look comfortable, do we? When it works, it will be very, very good. 2 days a year I pull for United. Beat these jokers. Come on, you Spurs, says BS. Frankie de Jong would have been the bread, says Julius. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably right, actually. We've settled a little bit, though. First 2 minutes was a bit shaky. Last couple of minutes, we've had a lot of the ball. And Arna running out to get the ball here. He wants to get involved in the play and be that extra player. I like brown grain bread, says Shady. Not enough. I mean, that's a long ball from Anana that if De Gea did that last year, people would be going mad. But now they'll be going, why isn't Rashford chasing it down? We just gifted possession up, basically, with a long ball. If we're going to pass out from the back, pass out from the back. Don't do long balls and give the ball away. Why is Anthony getting booed, says Shahin? I just think he's that sort of a player. Ramsdale, he's crap under the press, and we've won the ball back there. Oh, surely that was a foul on Martial. Not been given. Arsenal come away with it. Scott likes trains. I thought you said. I thought you'd left the eye out. I thought you said I like trans. Glazer will buy bread with 1 day left, says Rob. Stale bread is what you mean, isn't it? All this bread's talk. It's making me tired and making me hungry. I'm actually quite hungry. There's Rasmus, Maximus. You see, that's what I base it on. Don't like the kit. No. Nothing to do with anything, but I don't like the kit. Here we go, passing out from the back again. I don't think Wan-Bissaka suits passing out from the back. I think he's been one of our best players this season, but I don't think he looks comfortable as a possession-based right-back, which is why I think Erik ten Hag wants to look at it. You know, it's why we keep getting linked with a right-back. I don't think Wan-Bissaka looks like a natural ball-playing... Oh, I tell you what, Havertz there, it is a bit wild. Referee didn't even look at it. I never thought about that. I'd love to see a red card for Arsenal. That would make it. That would give us a chance. I don't think it was a red for Havertz, but well, it wasn't a red, but you know, it was a little bit wild. Lots of people thought it was Newcastle versus Arsenal. You know what? If you were flicking on, you probably would. I get exactly what you mean. Yeah. If you were turning... let me just clarify. This is Manchester United against Arsenal here. It's not Newcastle. I ate 22 chicken dippers and I feel sick, says Rory. This kit is awful, but if we win, I'll buy it, says Daryl. Well, to be honest, we've had 10 minutes here and it's been a crap game. It's like a game of chess. There's not a lot going on. Arsenal haven't really started like they can start. And we've got another long ball here. It's just too easy. Do you remember the old stripy referee kits? I like. It looks like we have a team of Michael Olivers, about as fast as him too pace-wise, says Nick P. And am I the only one who likes the kit? Says UK Enterprise. No, I'm sure you're not. I'm sure there'll be others who like the kit. Thanks for all the super chats, by the way. You can do that through the $sign. We'll give them a read out. And don't forget to subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. We're looking comfortable at the moment, says Jan. Well, Arsenal haven't done anything yet. That's why. And I'd take the positive with that. And that's what I said. A lot of people were concerned coming into this game. I predicted a draw, and I think Ten Hag knows what he's doing. You can trust Ten Hag. And here's Bruno. Oh, terrible pass. But at the moment, Arsenal are struggling to get into the game, which means we've set ourselves up shape-wise quite well, because they're struggling to get into the game. Long way to go, though. Lovely ball in there to Odegaard. This is where I worry. This is where I worry when they transition through as quickly. Good tackle by Bruno. Really good tackle. Can we do something with it? Ref, you're going to have to start getting your card out. You're going to have to start getting your card out. Because he's coming through the back of Martial, deliberate. Casemiro's right here. He's right, twice. They're just doing that on purpose to shut down the attack. Get a card out. Get your cards out. City do it all the time. You're right. Real life. It's what do they call it? A first phase foul to stop the attack. Have we got Amrabat? Says TJ. Well, we have signed Amrabat, but he's not part of the team today because he wasn't signed in time. Watchers get a red for a shoulder barge, says and the Muff. Thank you very much for your super chat. Anthony Taylor's the referee. Tactical fouls. That's what they're called, Marvin. Absolutely spot on. United have started off quite well here. Oh, here we go, though. Here we go. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, my God. We're so lucky not to be 1-0 down. Thank God for Havertz. Thank God for Havertz there. He's completely missed it. What a prat. He's missed... Oh, Arsenal fans are going to be going absolutely crazy here. Could have been a handball. It's not a handball. Delot heads it onto Martial's hand. It drops to Havertz and he miskicks it. And then Martinez just clears it away from Nketiah. But that could have been 1-0. It was a bit lucky for Manchester United. We got away with it there. I miss Xhaka so much, says Alex. This is the type of game where he'd help us getting out of the press. Yeah. Well, look, Havertz probably will score at some point today, but he should have scored there. Yeah, Delot just sort of gets stuck under the cross and then heads it straight at Havertz, who should be scoring, mishits it, and then Martinez reacts quickly. But you can say what you like about Havertz because there'll be plenty of Arsenal fans saying it as well. Here's Saka. Rashford already a couple of times today. I've seen him really working hard to track back. He's obviously been told to, help out with Delot today and put a shift in. Not something Rashford always does do. So it's very visible that he's doing it today. He's putting a real shift in these first 15 minutes of tracking back and doubling up with Delot on Saka, who's obviously, a big outlet for Arsenal anyway, but especially when we haven't got first choice left backs. Almost as bad as Jackson yesterday, says Nat. Franklin says United have been shit so far. I think the shape's been okay, but we've not done anything as an attacking side yet. I'll agree with you on that. I don't get why Arsenal wanted Havertz, says Thomas. And Arna punches it away. And a bit of a break, Anthony. Where are you going? Come on. Anthony's just played a pass 20 metres in front of Eriksen for Eriksen to run onto. It's like asking a bloody snail to go and catch a bloody piece of tumbleweed, isn't it? It's never going to happen. Should have just played that into his feet and retained the possession. If it's Rashford, it works. Well in by Delot. Interception. Come on. Anthony's going to... There's a ball here. There's a ball wide. Oh, fucking hell. Fucking hell. There was a ball to Bruno and he missed it. A couple of bad passes by United there where we had the chance to break. Our lack of attacking threat is very obvious, as Connor. It is at the moment. We've done nothing in an attacking sense. I'm going to get rid of that league table because I don't really think we need it when we've got that there. Let me just have a look at the stats. 45. We've had more possession from them. We've had a lot of possession in our own half. We've not been in their penalty box, I don't think, at all as an attacking team. Don't forget that we're sponsored by OneFootball. Links in the video description. You can download it for free. All your latest football news on there. But also they do individual player stats as well. So if you want to see pass completions of Ericsson, Casemiro, Anthony, etc., tackles, etc., you can get all that on OneFootball. Links in the description, or scan the QR code, that code in the top right hand corner, and download it for free on Apple and Android. Big shout out to OneFootball. Appreciate that. It is in the video description. Yes, it is. Yes. I dispute tumbleweed, says the snail. A lot of people are not very happy with the start from United. I've got to be honest, it's better than I thought. So let me know what your thoughts are. I actually think it's better than I expected. I think we've limited Arsenal to far less chances than I expected. I really thought it was going to be a very bumpy ride. Whereas, all right, Havertz should have scored, but I don't think it's... and we've done nothing as an attacking... I mean, to be honest, it's been a shit start. I'm trying to polish a turd here. Yeah, it's not been a great start, let's be honest. There's zero attacking threat so far. Defensively, I think we're okay, but zero attacking threat. Effectively, it's defence against attack, isn't it? And you don't want to be that. You don't want to go to Arsenal and just be Everton. You know, we can't just be defensive. We're Manchester United. Højlund winner in the 90th minute, says Dan. I mean, I'm glad Højlund didn't start because he wouldn't have anything to do at the moment. What can Delo actually do, says Abhishek? Well, he's doing a job for us. Free header on the back post there. Declan Rice, he knows he should have done better. I mean, who's marking him? There's nobody. He's free. Okay, now there was 3 Arsenal players on the back post, completely unmarked. Paul has just gifted 10 memberships. You're a legend, pal. I don't know what Anthony Taylor's doing here. That was 2 balls. I thought he was going to book somebody for time wasting. So United passing out from the back again. A few people getting a bit nervous about it in the chat. I mean, it's what we're going to do, unfortunately. Well, I think it's what we all want to happen. It's just... and Arna's always going to be a cool customer with it. You know, we wouldn't be able to do this with De Gea. I think we'd all know that. Another waste of a long ball straight to... He's not happy about it either. Ten Hag, not happy about that. When Rasmus comes on, I want the wingers changed at the same time. May as well get service into him, says Grant. Mate, how long have we had? 20 minutes? I don't think we've been in the final third with possession yet. We have had possession, but it's not been in their half. Go on, Delo. Now, he's got to go for the foul there. I thought he was going to play on. I was about to lose my mind. I don't know why the linesman didn't give this. The linesman was ready to play on. What's the linesman on? Fair play to Anthony Taylor for actually calling that back. The linesman was going to bloody play it on. Should have been a yellow as well. That's what a lot of the chat are saying. Not sure if watching an Arna is really exciting or terrifying. Rasmus will come on and score, says Dan. I have a bad feeling that our midfield is going to get overrun again. We're far from being in control or a threat. Completely toothless, says David. I like watching Onana. I think it's box office, but I also said in the summer it will cause some of you high blood pressure. We looked better last year, better defensively too, says Jordan. There's Rashford on the wing. Saka gets the ball. United clear it. Back with Martinez. Oh, Arteta, calm down. You're a Premier League referee, mate. Acts like he's a bloody prat. We can't get out of our halfway line, says Emmanuel. Where are the people who said a ball-playing keeper would revolutionise the way we play? Silence, says Alligator. Well, Arteta's moaning about an injury to Saka, but the tackle was on White. He's over the top. Arteta's over the top at times. Going back to the goalkeeping point, I said this. Having a ball-playing goalkeeper is not going to make us be a ball-playing team. Like, we haven't got the players when Onana gives them the ball to play through a press. We just haven't. They're not that type of player at the moment. I get the Onana idea, but we're really milking it with the passing around at the back. It doesn't need to be all the time. We don't do anything balanced, says Nick. Look, there's not a lot of difference between what United are doing here and what they did under Ollie with Maguire and Lindelof hitting long balls and passing it amongst themselves. Like, we've not been in the final third. So for all this passing, we've not been in the final third. So it's been a boring game. At the moment, I'll take a point. Look, 50-50 possession, but 5 shots, nothing on target. We've had no shots, nothing on target. I would put United's performance at the moment very similar to what an Everton would do at the Emirates when it's 0-0 after 20 minutes and, they're closer to a point. It's just a little... What's he doing? Anthony Taylor's telling off Nketiah, you can't be in the box. Give him a red card. Honestly, I think the shape is the issue. 4-2-3-1 means not enough in the midfield, says Shady. I don't know why we moved Bruno and Eriksen away from the ball so much. So many misplaced passes and lost possession. We run away from the ball. Like Lindelof's got the ball now and everyone's ran away. Wan-Bissaka's ran away. Delow's ran away. It's obviously part of the plan, but they all run away from the ball. It's like they've gone into a position to play through the press when we haven't played through the press. Like even now, look, Lindelof's got the ball. Where's Wan-Bissaka? Where's Delow? Where's Bruno? Where's Rashford? Where's Anthony? They're not even in the bloody picture. Now, Wan-Bissaka's come back into the picture now, and then he's going to run off again. And then we're going to hit a long ball again. And they're going to win it back. Well, Ten Hag did the interview about wanting to be a quick possession side. I think we're trying to be a quick transition side. We're always looking for the long ball. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Nearly 50,000 of you. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, get involved. It's been a bit of a slow start to this game. I'll take it. A lot of people saying Martial's missing. Mate, he's digging graves. He's in the graveyard shift. Nothing going on. I often said this with Ronaldo and Cavani and Martial and Rashford. What do you want the number 9 to do? What do you want them to do when the ball isn't going anywhere near them? What is it you're expecting to them? Of course they're ghosting, but it's not like the ball's going into their feet and they're running away. Nothing is happening. You could have Erling Haaland up front and he would be ghosting. I know people don't like Martial, but you also have to judge a game on what it is. The ball's going nowhere near the striker. He can't do something when he's not getting the ball. I think we've started well. I like the slow build-up. It saps energy from the opposition. It's a 90-minute game. Be patient, says Ash G. Would you rather have to end the life of a chicken every time you got in the car or fight an orangutan with a sword once a year? Matt, we're not doing that sort of stuff. This is the opposite to Ange ball, more like flange ball, says Nick P. Lovely ball into Rashford from Ericsson. First little bit of ball in the box. Rashford's in my fancy Premier League team and he scores! It's 1-0 to Manchester United. That's a smash and grab. That's Marcus Rashford. It comes from Christian Eriksen. It's a lovely ball. And Arsenal are in the mud from Manchester United. Arteta will be fuming here because Manchester United have lured them in. They've lured them in. They've played it slow. They've not been in to the penalty box of Arsenal. I don't think we've been in the final third at all in this game. And in the 26th minute, we do it. It starts off from a mistake. Probably Havertz again. I think it was Havertz again. Maybe it was Havertz. It's a lovely ball by Eriksen. And then Rashford off the left, which is where we want to see him. Cuts inside, gets the shot off. Ramsdale probably should do a little bit better. It is Havertz who gave the ball away. It is. Arsenal fans, start your tears. But Rashford and Eriksen combine will take that. And Manchester United lead 1-0. It's smash and grab, of course it is, but that's how we've sort of set up. And I tell you what, it might be a tactic now with the early goal. I think Havertz should get assist points. He's going to, you know what? Arsenal fans are going to be absolutely melting down. It's a misplaced pass by Havertz that completely allows us to hit them on the break. We bored them to sleep, says Daryl. It's been effective. It's been very effective. Oh, shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! That's absolutely ridiculous. What are we doing? What are we doing? All that work. All that work and we bloody don't defend again because we don't pick up a midfield runner. Absolutely bloody ridiculous. Who's marking Odegaard here? Who's picking up the runner? What a bunch of prats. I can't believe it. We're distracted by the goal. We're distracted by the goal. What are we doing? Why are we so... Anana says calm down now. You should have said it 5 minutes ago. Distracted. Well, watch this back. Eriksen. Bloody score. I said, just mark him up, mate. Mark him up. He's like a bloody lifeguard on a nudist beach and someone's drowning. He's distracted. That's ridiculous. Come on. You can't do that. The same thing happened last year. Same as last year. Fall asleep. Ridiculous. It's a complete and utter cliche. It's a complete and utter cliche. Everybody knows this. Pub football, five-a-side football. When you score, you're at your most vulnerable. Fucking idiots. Oh, we're never going to progress as a football club if we're going to concede goals like that. And it's the midfield runner again. Midfield runner again. "26 minutes of boring football to hit them on the break and then go, right, let's get to half. Same thing happened last year. Same thing happened last year. Wan-Bissaka lost him on the back post and then they've got the momentum. It's so bloody annoying. So annoying. But it's happened 3 times. It happened in the first 2 minutes. It happened with Havertz. And now it's happened with Odegaard. Not picking up the midfield runner. Simple concentration, says Samuel. It's annoying, mate. It's so bloody annoying. You can't buy that. You can't buy that. It's mentality. Well, you were right, Mark. Havertz with the assist, says Rogine. I think he has just got an assist, hasn't he? And Arna going from celebrating like a World Cup final to calming his team down. What a prat, says Danny. I will always get angry about stuff like that because you've got to work hard to get 1-0 up at places like this. You know, you work hard for 26 minutes and then you concede within 26 seconds. At any level of football, you've got every right to be angry. There's no excuses. It's just pure concentration. Concentrate. You know, you think about that lifeguard I was talking about there, bloody Baywatch FC. You're there to concentrate on the sea and people that might be drowning. Don't be distracted by someone getting their tits out. You're a professional. Your lives are at stake. You can have a look at that on the computer later. You've got to concentrate. Distracted FC. Oh, Bruno's just took the ball. Well, it was. Wan-Bissaka. Oh. It's the good and the bad of Eriksen, isn't it? Brilliant assist because he's a number 10. Acts like he's pissed. Marking the runners. He's a number 10. Eriksen's a number 10. He's always been a number 10. I've never seen him as a box-to-box midfielder. I don't know why we go to places like the Emirates and play Christian Eriksen in the fucking Declan Rice role. It makes no sense. Anyone saying anything about Erik Ten Hag can do one. If Amrabat is in midfield, we're still 1-up, says James. I agree. How can a player as experienced as Eriksen get caught ball watching, says TJ. He's actually, you know what? You know why I'm highlighting Eriksen here? Because he's not up the other end of the pitch as a number 10. He's actually in the box. He's tracked back, but he doesn't know how to defend. So he's given Odegaard 10 metres in the box. That's what I mean. I'm not saying he won't work hard, but he's not a number 10. David would have pulled off a worldie. Love you, says Beryl. I haven't even looked at the save. I think that Ramsdale should have done better on Rashford's, but I didn't really look at that one. Not surprised. Good defending until we score in our defensive midfield scatter, says on DBZ. Pratwell is assistant to Taylor today. Scripted, says Samuel. Well, look, it's 1-1. We calm down. We go again. I need to get Martial into the game. Ollie is gone and much of the team has changed, but why does everyone still feel the same mentality, style of play, says Shane? Look, I don't know. Concentration is a big problem. Ten Hag is going to say exactly what we've just said. You know, you score, you work hard, you concentrate, you're organised, and you know, football's very simple. It's really simple. You're very vulnerable when you've scored. It's been proven by Stephen Hawkins before he died. No, it wasn't him, but, you know, somebody with brains will have put the stats through the computer and said that a lot of goals get conceded in the first minute after you score. Should play Scott McTominay over Eriksen. He ain't even on the bench, Monk. Mark, it is not my intention to diss Ten Hag, but United's play styles a year later looks like Ollie ball, long ball and counter-attack. Am I wrong? Says Rogine. Here's Martial in the box. Mark, what do we need to do from now on to win this game? Love the show, says Rez. I don't think we're set up to win the game in the sense that we're going to have to keep doing more of what we've done. We're doing quite a good job of containing Arsenal at the moment, but by doing that, we're having to counter. So we certainly can't go on the front foot. I'm just going to have to keep doing this. I don't like this distance this season between the defence and the mid and the attack. We seem to just leave the middle of the pitch. See what I mean? Look at Lindelof here. There's no one anywhere near him. And all you see is everybody like Casemiro pointing long ball. Like there's just nobody comes close to the ball in the defence. Everybody's so distanced. I saw it against Wolves. Saw it against Spurs. I can see it now, look. Nobody's coming for the ball. I think it's all about trying to create overloads in the final third, but we don't put the ball into the final third. Swap Ericsson with Onana, says Monkey. It's not good to watch as well. It's not a good style of football to watch. Just pinging it around the back four with everyone pointing forward. Right, that's a good ball from Casemiro into Anthony. Bit of a point. Nice ball into Martial, but they read it very well. I think it looks a bit disorganised to me. I don't think the players look very comfortable with it. Lovely play by Anthony. Oh, falls over. Bit of a jinx. Oh, what's Lind? Oh, he's going to get booked. He's definitely going to get booked, Lindelof there. The bounce of the ball caught him. There's actually Arsenal fans saying it should be a red. Go home. You don't understand the game. Go home. Never a red. Lindelof just misreads this. The ball looks like it's going to go out. I don't know why he stopped. And it's a blatant yellow card. But it's a high foot as well. I mean, he sort of tackled him twice. Clear red, says Jack. I mean, it's a yellow. It's a yellow. Martinez was there, but Lindelof just completely and utterly misses the reads of the ball there. I mean, can you imagine what Maguire would have done in that situation? He'd still be in the dressing room. Cross comes in. Bruno's been very quiet as well. Got to be said. It's not last man, so it's a yellow. Exactly, Sally. Anyone who thinks it's a red doesn't understand the game. Anthony, look at Martial. Good ball. No, it's not. Still, Rashford, have a shot. Have a shot. Yeah, I'd have had a shot. I would have had a shot. I'm not going to knock him. I would have had a shot there. Against this keeper, you got to shoot. Smash and grab. That's what we're set up to do. What are they advertising Newcastle Brentford for? Who wants to watch that shit? Please do subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I don't know what we're doing, actually, for subscribers. It says 722, but I suspect we're wrong. We're actually only 300 away from 723. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I'm not doing a red card poll because I'm not doing a red card poll. That should be a red card for Saka. I don't know how that's not a red. That's disgusting. I mean, that's just terrible. If that's Casemiro, he got a yellow card. He's got a yellow card for it, but I think it's a red. I think it's a red. I mean, he's nearly broken his bloody ankle. Bruno is too quiet for this game, says Christopher. I genuinely like Saka, and I've got nothing against Arsenal in the sense that I want them to win. I don't want them to win, but that's a red card for me. If Casemiro does that, he's gone. Like, it's one of the easiest red cards I've ever seen. It's studs, it's on the ankle, it's late, it's elevated, it's got all the components. I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it because at the time I didn't think it was a red, but when I saw it back, I'm like, that's got all the components of a red card. So inconsistency again. What do you expect? I'm not going to start moaning or getting on with it, but you know, if that's the other way round, Arsenal fans would want a red card as well. We haven't got it. You know, what do you expect? I'm not deluded. It studs up, it's elevated, it's on the ankle, and it's late. I can show you 10 red cards worse than that. So you're very lucky. It could have been a red. But I'm not surprised by the officiating anymore. Could have seen David as a goalkeeper and Onana as a midfielder. What composure, says Udit. Well, we'll do a poll then. I think it was a red. I think it was, by the letter of the law, I think it was a red. Here's Martinelli. Cross comes in from Zinchenko. And Arna was in no man's land there. I don't know what he's doing there. Good defensive header by Delo, and he is quite good at that. But Onana's in fucking no man's land. What's your thoughts on Anthony, says Reds. Hold on a minute. My thoughts on Anthony are very much similar to Rashford and Martial. Obviously, I know Rashford scored a goal. Same as Bruno as well. It's not really a game for the attackers. We've posed no attacking threat. We've probably had one shot on target. Well, no, Rashford had that other shot. But I don't think we've been in their box more than once. So it's not really a game for the attackers. It's defence against attack with us trying to hit on the break. Casey, cross comes in. Go on. Oh. I love Ten Hag, says KC, and I believe he's the man for the job. However, the shape formation is not working. We can see it. The players clearly don't like it. Why does he persist? It's frustrating. I think that's probably the best chat we've had of the game. Craig says, if Anthony did that tackle, TalkSport would have already had 10 YouTube videos about it. Yeah, you do get that, though. Like, if Xhaka did that tackle, he would have got a red card as well. You know, I'm not actually targeting Arsenal or Saka. I'm just saying, were the ingredients there for a red card? Yes. And I think what tends to happen is, we saw it with Harry Kane at Liverpool, didn't we? He did a red card tackle. He didn't get sent off. It sometimes is about the player who does the tackle. I guarantee you now, in fairness to Arsenal, if Xhaka did that tackle last year, that would have been a red. If Casemiro did it, it would have been a red. So you do get away with it. Of course you do, based on reputation. If Rashford did that, probably wouldn't have been a red as well. If Bruno was my teammate, wincing and whining, I'd want to kick him a lot harder than Saka did, says Ross. But yeah, going back to what KC says, I agree with you. I completely agree with you. I think that the style of play of United this season is really hard to watch. It's really based on transitional play. And, you know, lots of passing around the back, waiting around. It's not nice on the eye. I don't like seeing our defenders with the ball and our attackers running away from them, waiting for a long ball. There's so much distance between our players. You think about Man City, they're very close. It's intricate. I don't like the way we're playing football this season. It's obviously deliberate. I don't think it's, you know, chaotic. I think it's deliberate, but I don't like it. I think it looks disorganised. Didn't Lindelof kick Nketiah in the face? Says Rogine. Two wrongs don't make a right, mate. We're talking about the Saka one, mate. Anthony slows down the game so much, says Shawar. Saka should have got a couple of months in prison, says Monkey. To be fair on the red card, it's about 50-50 anyway, so I don't think it was clearly. Anthony Taylor's probably right, giving a yellow then, because it wasn't a landslide. It should be a red. Anthony looks like one of the few who actually want the ball played to them. The lack of movement is shocking and can't be what Ten Hag wants. We're nearly at half time here. As I said it in the first 10 minutes. It's a very, very tactical game, isn't it? Thoughts on Onana? I want to see the goal again at half time, Jerry. I saw Odegaard hit it cleanly, and I was like, well, that's a goal. But I don't know whether Onana could have done any better. I just think United in general have been very hard to watch so far. I don't like this style of football. I didn't like it against Wolves. I didn't like it in the second half against Spurs. It's hard to watch. Was about to lose it, but the nude beach got me, says Gallen. Oh, yeah. Wonder what you're on about then. I thought you were watching on a nude beach. Corner for Arsenal. Oh, who's marking again? Bloody hell, Saka caught that one well. It's going to be another corner. You got to mark up better on these crosses. We're not marking up on the back post. All I'm saying is Stella Unfiltered. God's sup, says Bobby. Saka could have killed him, says Daz. Cross comes in from Arsenal again. Good header away by Wan-Bissaka. We're nearly at half time here. Clear as day, Arsenal are scared to press is because they're worried about Onana's ability to beat the press. Last year we were swarmed, says Seb. Well, it's a good tactical observation, Seb. Martinez has given a corner away here. Could have got away with it with not giving one away. Nice to see the high fives back between Delo and that. Why do we have 3-1-6 shape in possession? It's madness, says Samir. I don't like it. It's very disorganised. I'm sure at some point it will start to work, but I don't really get what the plan is. I saw it against Wolves. I've seen it again today. We're in possession and 6 players run to their defensive line. And I'm like, well, the only way you're going to hit them is a long ball. So why are we hitting a long ball to 6 players? Back post, nothing happens from Havertz. And I think the ref is going to blow up for half time here. Odegaard and Rashford, the scorers, very close together. I suppose the story of the half was, a game of chess in many ways, and then a misplaced pass by Havertz. Eriksen pounced on it, slipped in Rashford, cuts inside and shoots. Maybe the keeper could have done a little bit better. He was probably unsighted, a lot of it. And then instantly, it felt like, and I'll look forward to seeing it again at half-time, but instantly, Arsenal go up the other end. Odegaard is completely unmarked, and it's 1-1. And you've got to sit there as a manager at half-time and say, I can't find an excuse for that. You've done the hard work, the concentration, you get 1-0 up, and then they're on their first attack, and we're not marking up. Why are we not marking up? And it happens time and time again, and it's 1-1. And actually, I'd say again, from 1-1, United have organised themselves quite well again. So it's just that momentary loss of concentration. This is why you shouldn't use your phone when you're driving. It's distraction. That's a serious message, people. And don't drink and drive either. Not even a Coke. And don't do Coke and drive. They should get me on some sort of advert for that there. Responsible bridge. But it is. You've got to concentrate. A lapse in concentration causes things like that. But look, in general, look at the stats. Big shout out to OneFootball. You can download it for free. Links in the video description. Get all your latest breaking football news, all your stats. Individualised stats as well. I love that on the OneFootball app. It's free on Apple and Android. You can individualise your stats and look at the players very, very in depth. But we've had more possession than Arsenal. But that's dead possession. I can't. This is why every game is different. You cannot judge a game on that stats board. Because if you judge that game on that stats board, you'd go, hold on a minute. They've both only had 1 shot on target, and it's 1-1. Arsenal have had more shots than United, but United have got more possession. Similar pass accuracy. Man United have made more tackles. What sort of game has it been? We've got to bloody watch it to know what sort of game it's been. It's been the sort of game where Arsenal haven't pressed us high up the pitch. So we've had a lot of the ball around our back four and our keeper. And they were letting us have the ball there. We've had next to no ball in their final third, whereas Arsenal have had quite a bit of ball in the final third because that's why they've had more shots than us. So it's dead possession United have had. It's allowed us to exert a bit of control on the game, but we've not been able to do anything with that possession. Nearly 2 a.m. here in Australia. I've got work at 8. Please, United, make it worth it, says Tom. I love and trust Ten Hag. I'm just worried that he's so focused on making United play his way that he's not implementing strategy based on player strength, says Caleb. Anthony's cooking Zinchenko, playing a brilliant game. Every ball he gets, he's a threat, says Justin. I'm Mark, great watch along. Bruno should drop it a bit more to come into the game. As soon as he gets it, he hoofs it. Bloody hell, says Lee. Also, I think I've just got one more to do. Why does our entire team look like they just got out of a 2-week stay in the hospital? Lethargic and no spark going forward, says Dragoon. It's a tactical thing that's going on with United at the moment. And I don't want to repeat myself, but we saw exactly this against Wolves, where Casemiro, Varane and Martinez had the ball. Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw legged it up to hold hands with Rashford and Antony. Bruno and Mount stood next to, well, it wasn't Rashford, was it? It was Garnacho, and Rashford was up front. Every time we seem to get the ball, 6 players, so the 2 fullbacks, the front 3, and Bruno, just all hit the defensive line in a line. They're all way up the pitch. And then you're left with Onana, Onana, Lindelof, Martinez, Casemiro, and sometimes Eriksen, and this front 6. And I watch it and I go, so Eriksen's got the ball now, and everybody's bloody miles away. The full-back option's not there because they've gone forward. The wingers have stayed forward. Bruno's gone forward. And then there's Martial. And I don't really... Obviously, it's by design. And I think the plan is, in fairness to Ten Hag, we're looking to overload the final third and transition quickly. And if you transition quickly, you could end up with a position where you've got a 6 against 4. But we've not done it this season. We've not actually utilised a plan that I'm sure Arteta can see and I'm sure Gary O'Neill saw. Like, they are covering off those passes to 6 players. So, and I don't like it. I don't like it either. It's not very easy on the eye watching Casemiro or Martinez or Eriksen on the ball with 6 players forward looking for a long ball. I don't like it, but I'd rather we were linking up the play a little bit better. But that's what we're trying to do. It's very, very clear what we're trying to do. Looking at the Rashford goal again, that's not the one I want to look at. Good finish by Rashford. He'll be very happy with that. I want to watch the Arsenal goal. It's a strange formation, says Lord Turtle, but you could see how it would work when we were in the lead. Says, yeah. It's just not an easy on the eye one, is it? This form of resilience and fight is what we need for every game. We still lack quality and need much better build-up, but the attitude is better, says Robert Lund. Watch Liverpool. They spent very little miles off, says John. Well, they've spent money on a whole new midfield. I want to see this Arsenal goal. So I've just seen the Rashford goal there. I mean, I was still celebrating. So straight from the kickoff, they go left. I'm watching United players. Lindelof gets pulled out of position. Yeah, it's Eriksen. I don't think Onana's doing anything. Odegaard's just completely left. It's Eriksen's man for me. It's always Eriksen's man, and he's not. Yeah, that's on Eriksen. It feels like I'm watching NFL, says Reswan. That is probably one of the best explanations. Just watching the goal back, to concede a goal like this straight after we've scored is ridiculous. You've got to mark Odegaard, and Eriksen's got to be aware of him being there. Otherwise, you're just a guy stood in the penalty box. Ten Hag is having to play this way just like Ollie did, as that's the player's strengths. Players make pacey is all we have. Counter-attack or bust, says Nicholas. We have become Moments FC because our midfield is moments dependent. Even Bruno is not a ball-playing midfielder. Well, I think that comment about the NFL is absolutely brilliant. And I sort of want that to become our thing, the same that McFred did and Moments FC did. We are NFL FC at the moment. We are basically playing like an NFL team. And if you watch American football, you'll know what I mean. Ball breaks to the quarterback, everyone runs, and the quarterback's got to hit the pass. And that's what we're doing. Balls with Eriksen or Casemiro or Martinez, 6 players bomb forward, and we've got to try and hit the pass. We're playing NFL football, NFL FC at the moment, and we definitely tried to do it against Wolves. I've been quite impressed with Eriksen and Anthony. Martial, though, Jesus, that guy is so bad, he literally doesn't do anything. The pace of Højlund is needed in this game, says Sean Turner. Well, yes and no. I mean, look, whether Martial's passed it or offers anything anymore is certainly a very fair conversation. Having said that, he's also playing in a graveyard shift where we're not actually doing anything. I would argue, I don't have the stats, but I would argue that the only time we've been in their penalty box was when Rashford scored. So there's not a lot going on for a striker, really. And Martial's certainly not as mobile as he used to be. You know what I would like to do? I don't mind the NFL FC tactics, but I'd like to see us mix it up a little bit, because having coached, played and watched the game for most of my life, if I'm playing Man United at the moment, I know what they're doing. They're not mixing it up at all. Every time, 6 players bomb forward when they've got the ball, and they're looking to overload us and transition quickly. And I know how to deal with that. And Arsenal have done it really, really well. They're not committing themselves, and they're making sure they've got the numbers every time. And they're actually playing a deep line, so they can't be hit. The natural progression next time is that let's not do that. Let's play closer. Let's keep our fullbacks back. Let's try and build overloads through possession, playing through the lines. So we need to mix it up a little bit. And I don't know why we're not mixing it up a little bit, actually. I don't know. You know, sometimes you solve problems while we're talking. Why don't we mix it up a bit? Why every time are we doing the same thing? What's Martial's role, says QWERTY? Without the ball, he lacks enthusiasm, and with the ball, he looks like a pigeon-toed man trying to dribble. A positive I've seen is it looks like the defence is getting more comfortable playing with Onana and his style of starting play. It will take time to get it fully cleaned up, but it's progress, says Matt. Look, I think Lindelof and Martinez have done well today. They're not at fault for the goal. And I know Lindelof got booked, but those things happen. He misjudged the bounce. Everybody makes a mistake. But I think that the centre-backs are doing quite well. Hi, Mark. Rice and Gabriel are putting pressure on the front 3 like 2 CDMs, so 2 wingers have wide space open and we can't play midfield link-up, says Mohit. And the way we played in the friendly, Mason marked Odegaard out of the game. As soon as Eriksen came on, he exploited Eriksen like he's doing now, says Lee. I like Christian Eriksen. We've scored a goal because of Christian Eriksen, but I keep saying this and I'm almost boring myself. He's a number 10. I've never seen him as a box-to-box midfielder. He's actually made a massive mistake on the Odegaard goal, but I almost feel like it's just because he's not that type of player. He's not lazy. He's actually dropped too deep. Like, he's actually got back. You know, he's actually aware of his defensive responsibilities. He's in our penalty box, but he's not marking Odegaard because he's not aware. You watch that goal back, Martinez and Dalot are aware of Odegaard, but they've got to go with different men. I don't think Eriksen ever realises Odegaard's there until Odegaard's hit the back of the net. And as a midfielder, and we've all played that role, as a midfielder, you've got to be looking, you've got to be scanning, and you've got to be aware of who's your player. And in that situation, what Eriksen's done is, he's sensed the danger, he's like, I've got to get back. He's put himself in the penalty box, but he's never, ever thought about, oh, I probably should be marking somebody. He's just a body in the box. And he's got to be aware of that, and it's too late. And in fairness, I will defend him because I've never said Eriksen is a box-to-box midfielder, and I've certainly never said he's good defensively. We are playing a guy who really should be playing in Bruno's position, and especially at his age, with the lack of mobility and defensive spatial awareness, he should be playing Bruno's role. We are playing a number 10 in a position where if Amrabat plays that role, there ain't no way. You put Amrabat where Eriksen is, he's scanning and he's on Odegaard like a bloody rash. So, you know, who do you blame there? You have to blame Eriksen because he's the player who didn't mark him, but you also have to mitigate that with the fact that it's not really his strength. Mark, if United are NFL FC, why isn't our best quarterback Bruno picking up the ball deep, says Jace. Good point. Thoughts on Onana, says Jerry. I do want to talk about Onana. I think that's the issue, Mark. Too many players aren't smart enough to do multiple starts. I feel we have many direct players. A ball carrier would help, says SK. Look, if Mason Mount's fit, I think he probably makes the same mistake, because I don't think Mason Mount would be defensively aware enough to pick up Odegaard. And Odegaard's clever. He attaches himself to Martinez, and then he moves away from Martinez. Odegaard's clever in that situation. You need defensive-minded players who are clever as well. We are the only team going into these games with the same 10 outfield players from last season. Should be careful not to repeat last season at Anfield, says Sakin. That's a big positive for me. You know, today could have been a day where we got absolutely pummeled, and I hope I'm going to be wrong about that. I said before the season started, I think there'll be a couple of games this year where we get handed on a plate 6-0, something like that. Maybe that won't happen, because today we do look a little bit better defensively organised. I think we've been decent considering we don't have the personnel to play better. And Onana changes his in position, says Damon. And knowing United, Arsenal aren't going to come out strong in the second half and will concede in the first 5. So important, Guhan. So important that we're switched on. You know, it's a bit like scoring a goal and switching off. Second half, you've got to start. I didn't know the NFL started on Thursday. Back of the net, NFL FC. Onana, look, the intelligent Rasmus is warming up. The intelligent answer about 72 million. Sky just put, oh, shut up, Sky. Shut up, Sky, you propaganda shits. They've just put £72 million signing Rasmus Højlund. Since when did we pay £72 million for Rasmus Højlund? That's as bad as Gary Neville saying that Bruno wanted to be subbed off against Liverpool. That's scandalous. He's not a £72 million signing at all. It was euros. And that included add-ons. We paid £60 million up front. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We didn't pay £72 million outright. £72 million is nearly 80 million euros. We didn't pay that outright. No, we didn't pay that. Do your bloody homework. Absolutely ridiculous. People are saying it was. Mate, it wasn't. We didn't pay 80 million euros for Rasmus Højlund outright. We didn't. That includes add-ons and everything. Jokers. Saka also did another studs-up foul in 19 minutes as Red Giant. Look, at the end of the day, Onana, I was asked about that. I know Ten Hag is a good coach, but this is just how we played under Ollie. The football wasn't great, but we somehow got results. Well, look, if we can get a result today, I'm going to be very, very happy. In relation to Onana, he's going to give you high blood pressure if you don't know what he's all about. He never gets nervous when he's playing with the ball and a striker is 1 metre away. You will get nervous because you're not used to it. It's a very, very big change from what we did with previous goalkeeper. He's not panicking. He will let a striker come within 1 metre of him and he will still ping a pass. So you've got to get used to that. Onana's going to get us up the pitch. The problem we've got is, at the moment, is the rest of the team don't know what to do with being up the pitch. So I don't have a problem with Onana. He must be judged on his goalkeeping skills. And as a distributor, he's very confident and he's going to make a big difference. On the goalkeeping side, he can't save that Odegaard shot, so he can't be criticised for that. I think he's had a good half. And I think that the only time that he worries me is when a cross came into the back post and he got caught underneath it. But I think Onana's had a good half. I think that there's a very intelligent case to be made that Arsenal are very concerned about pressing us high up the pitch because Onana will play through us. So, you know, that's something that last season, as somebody quite rightly said, would be very different. We've got to be switched on now. First 2 minutes of this half. We're up and running. And thank you very much, LFK, for your super chat as well. João Pedro's better than Martial, says QWERTY. What are we doing? Listing strikers better than Martial. We could be here a while. Why not try Bruno at 8 and Eriksen at 10? I would, Sean. Yeah, I would. And I think Onana's goalkeeping ability is crap, but his ball-playing ability is what keeps him as a starter, says Jerry. And I think Man United have to be the most useless team I've seen says Tyler. Okay. Well, it's been a game of chess, this, and in this game of chess, I predicted we would get a draw. It sort of feels like a bit of a halfway house, a draw, isn't it? It's something we can sort of build on into the new season. Please subscribe. Sorry, after the international break. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. But it has got echoes of last season a little bit at the moment, where we scored first, made a defensive error, and then lost late on. Remember, that's what happened last time. So we've got to try and swerve that. Here's Saka on the wing. Bit of an overlap for Ben White, and Anana will collect that one. Nice and easy. Nice and easy does it every time. I've got till 6 o'clock. Got to do. Bruno gets it wide to Wan-Bissaka. Let's see if we can mix it up a little bit ourselves as well. Let me close that down. Right. Stretch time. I told you, I'm not stretching enough. Oh. At least I won't be hiding behind my chair. 7-0. Don't want to be doing any of them this season. That needs to be something from the past. So, first couple of minutes here, very, very similar pattern to the first half. And, you know, what's the bigger picture here? What's the bigger picture here? I think United have been very counter-attacking, but Arsenal haven't been that dominant so far. Both teams have got a big striker to bring on as well. Jesus is on the bench for Arsenal. He's back. Rasmus on the bench for Manchester United. Martial's going to come off definitely, probably in about 15 minutes. And we'll get to see Rasmus for the first time. Rasmus winner on his debut. What price say ye? We are at the Emirates. Arsenal finished second last year and almost won the Premier League. They've added Rice. Do people expect us to play like City? Says Mario. Sib says Jesus is not that big, but he's their best striker, mate. Remember that. Remember with Arsenal as well that they've not had a brilliant start to the season themselves yet. They're not in the, I watched them play against Forest and Palace, and they're not in that free-flowing Arsenal form of the start of last season. I mean, last season they took, 43 points from 48. That's incredible. They haven't started the season like a train. Their midfield is not as fluent as it was last year. So they're going through a bit of a transition themselves. And that's another long ball from Anana he's given away. So both teams really are going through a bit of a transitional phase. Obviously United with the goalkeeper and Arsenal with their midfield. I'll say it. I knew it was never a possibility. We should have bought him earlier. But I do think an Amrabat in a game like this next to Casemiro makes a huge difference. I mean, even if Amrabat, we don't know anything about him, what we do know about him is that speed across the ground, that tenacity. He would be a very, very big difference in that Eriksen role. Bruno's lost it there. But we got a lot of numbers back. Here's Odegaard. And blocked by Martinez. I wouldn't mind seeing Rashford to the right, Martial to the left, and Rasmus down the middle, says the wheelbarrow. I hate these pundits when Dazibi gets his goalkeeper to play ball. It's amazing. But when Anada does it, it's iffy, says SK. And Anana in Man City team would be great. says Rogine. And Wan-Bissaka puts it out for... Oh, no, he hasn't put it out for a corner. It's gone for a throw-in. Vol, thank you very much for being a member for 13 months. They didn't even show the red card on Saka at half-time. So, we're missing a ball-carrying player to bring the ball forward and close the gap between players in the transition. Eriksen can't do it, and I hope Amrabat is that player, says Chris. Well, Brighton have got that Verbruggen, haven't they, who Ten Hag was actually... Oh, Eriksen's just slipped over. Bit unlucky. Flynn says we need to improve our away record against the top 10. Yeah, don't go looking at that away record against the top 10. It ain't good. It ain't good. It's crap. It's been a very slow-paced game, but look, maybe how many games does it take for the Premier League to get cooking? I know we've had 4 games, but it still feels like a early Premier League game, doesn't it? The fluency of pass, the intensity, it's not quite there from either team. Wan-Bissaka's had a good battle with Martinelli. Does Marcus block an Acho or vice versa in the future, says Devon? Well, Rashford's always going to be the starting number. Rashford's always going to be the winger on the left-hand side, isn't he? So, you know, if you think Garnacho should be, then he will be blocking him, yeah. Nobody says Erik Ten Hag is literally the best coach outside of Pep. I'm hearing a lot about Martial's bad game, but not Bruno's, says Yusuf. Odegaard has pivoted on Eriksen's defensive half of the midfield. Erik Ten Hag needs to swap Eriksen's position with either Bruno or Casemiro, says Christopher Day. He's an intelligent player, Odegaard. You're right, he's attaching himself to just in front of Martinez, about 10 metres in front, which is Eriksen's side. A lot of people slipping over, yeah. James says we'll take the point. Long time to go. Long way to go. Mark, it's ridiculous how lightweight Eriksen is. Never puts in a tackle and doesn't have the fight we need in midfield, says Nick97. Well, here is Eriksen. Nice little pass into Bruno. Martial's in here. Get the shot off. Straight at Ramsdale. Oh, Jesus. Rashford knows. Rashford knows. And look, it sort of comes from Eriksen again. Eriksen with a lovely pass into Bruno. Quick transition into Martial. Tough angle from Martial. And you can't blame Martial or Rashford there. They got shots off and they were both blocked. De Jong would revolution our side, says Jay. Jar. Delo, good block again. Bit better from Man United. You can't moan there. Martial's shot was good. Good save by Ramsdale. Rashford's follow-up shot was good. Blocked by the defender. And that could be United's weapon here. It's quite a lethargic tactical game, and then bang, couple of chances. Is this our Man United, says Spencer? He's not impressed. Erasmus is warming up. He'll be coming on soon. No idea where Sancho is. A few people saying that. No idea at all. Very excited to see Rasmus play for numerous reasons, really, as I'm sure many are. Arsenal on the attack. Well done, Wan-Bissaka there. It would have been so easy to leave his foot in and Nketiah would have gone down. Well done, Delo. I think Delo's been tidy at left-back as well. Give him some credit. Saka's one of the best players, well, not just in the Premier League, he's one of the best right-wingers in Europe. I I don't want to jinx this, but we look very safe. Even Arsenal push up. They're only shooting outside. Rasmus, show them your worth, says SK. It's got to be. The thing about Arsenal is you've got to be careful of that moment of, you know, what we saw last season with that shot from Saka from the edge of the box. But look, as I said, from the 3.5 games I've seen of Arsenal so far, and that doesn't mean they're not going to go on and win this game, I don't think Arsenal look, and I've spoken to a few Arsenal fans this week, they don't look like a team that's going to push Man City at the moment. They don't look like the team they did last year at the moment. They're going through their own adjustment period as well. Saliba, don't let him shoot. Oh, Bruno did well there. D says, do you think Liverpool are that team? Oh, well, at the moment, Liverpool look very, very good, yeah. And obviously they've got the experience. They've been there before. So it's hard to get excited for Rasmus because we've had from Ronaldo to Cavani and all play the graveyard shift, says EG. I mean, look, if Rasmus had started this game, I don't think anything would have happened. That's the trouble. You can have a striker, you can have an Erling Haaland, but you've got to get the ball to them. Doesn't it annoy anyone else that Wan-Bissaka always kicks it out of play when he tackles? He never actually wins possession. It winds me up, says Jake. It's a great point, Jake. And lots of people won't realise that. Rasmus, says Erwin. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka's really good at tackling, but we give the ball away every time he does it. Maldini made a great point about this. Not about Wan-Bissaka, but about tackling. He said at the end of the day, a slide tackle is because it's a last-ditch tackle. I don't put myself in those positions in the first place. I read the game. Could be a long half an hour here. I think it's... I'll be honest, look, you know, I just want Man United to win. I've watched Man United play some very boring games over the years, but this has been a hard watch. And I never said it was going to be an entertaining game. That's a penalty. That's a penalty. It's a penalty. I'm not even going to lie. I can see from here it's a stonewall penalty. I can't lie. That's a penalty. I saw it. Stonewall. Absolute stonewall penalty. Cannot argue about it. Havertz. Straight sandwich between. Yeah. Nothing. Absolute penalty that. Stonewall. Well, Casemiro fouls him as well. It's a double foul. You know what? This is what football does. This is what football does, and this is why you need to judge football with this is why you need to judge football with fairness. Oh, I tell you what, though, he doesn't catch him with the first bit. Might not be. I thought he caught him there. He doesn't. It might get overturned. It might get overturned. I thought it was like Rashford's last week where he's caught him with the first contact. Now, Wan-Bissaka is silly. He does make the tackle, but he doesn't make the contact. Havertz makes the contact. This might get overrun. This might get overturned. This might get overturned. So what I'm looking at is when Wan-Bissaka's foot goes in there, I thought if he catches him there, that's a penalty, but he doesn't. So I think he'll overturn it. No penalty. He's got that right. VAR has worked. It's worked there. I'll give it some credit. It's got it right because Wan-Bissaka's very lucky, but he doesn't make contact. Now, the difference between what happened at Forest last week is, on that first attempt to tackle, there is contact with Rashford. And I thought, from there, I think it looks like there's contact. There wasn't. Good decision. Good day from Brisbane. Again, Mark, how you doing? Says James Frisky. It should be booked for diving. Well, yeah, could be. Oh. When they get it right, I'll say they get it right. They got it right. And you know what? I don't rate Anthony Taylor, but I think he was right to give the penalty. In real time, I'd have given that. That's why I said Stonewall. Stonewall. And that's a proof, as people are saying in the chat, that's why VAR can be very, very good. But, as I said, when I saw that in real time, I don't even rate Anthony Taylor. I'm giving a penalty. Rasmus is coming on. Maguire's warming up, says Stuart. Yeah, but he's not coming on. I'm sure Arsenal fans will be trying to get a penalty out of it. I would be as well, but ultimately, I think they've got that right. Wayne says Stonewall Bridge. Yeah, but we're going off the. You're being a little bit immature here because Harry's warming up, says Desert. You're being a bit immature here because we're going off the. We're going off real time, and I thought it was a Stonewall penalty, but when you look at it again. That's what life is, isn't it? The ability to say you got it wrong when you get all the evidence. Oh, shit. Odegaard. It's just turned Eriksen. Still, he's got away from Eriksen. He's still going. Is anyone going to put a tackle in? He gets a shot off. I feel bad for Havertz. I would hate for Casper the Ghost to trip me over in a big game, says L2 Gaming. Havertz can't even trip up properly, says Daniel Lees. Rashford down the left-hand side. Needs some support. SK that says that's how VAR should be used. In reality, Arsenal will be pissed, but this is how VAR should be used. SK. Look. Even though Havertz did dive, I'd still be moaning, 100% if I was an Arsenal fan. Martin Keanu is going to have a meltdown, says Davids. Yeah. And I thought it was very similar to Rashford, but the fact is, the Forest defender made contact with Rashford on the attempted tackle. Wan-Bissaka didn't. How do you watch, says Aimbot? Well, I turned my TV on and it's on the telly. I tell you what, though, the game is starting to get stretched here. Martinelli's up against Lindelof, who's on a yellow card. I do not like this matchup. Good covering back from Casemiro. He hasn't got any cover there, Martinelli, and Delo will get rid of that. Playing with the striker makes a huge difference, and for all his faults, Martial's put in a shift, says Dan. They definitely have not called fouls for more, to be honest, says Salt. And hi, Mark, watching from a nudist beach, is it normal that Wan-Bissaka is making me hard, says Enzo. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Do you think Maguire is warming up without being told to the hope of getting 5 minutes, says Marcus? I'm not so sure why you'd bring Maguire on in a game like this. It's a very chess-like game with intricate little pawns. And I don't know that Harry Maguire suits a game like this. You know, you look at all the players on their pitch, they're all quite agile. So I don't really... It's not like Arsenal are going to start playing balls into the box. Oh my God, Martinez might be getting booked there. Run back, Martinez. They're on the bloody break. Martinez hasn't even come back into picture. I think he's injured. I think Martinez is injured. He's injured. And Bruno just went, I can't believe it. Bloody hell. Harry Maguire is bloody... He's blessed, isn't he? Give me your lottery. Give me the lottery numbers, Maguire. Look at him. He can't contain the smile on his face, Maguire. He can't bloody believe it, can he? I'm back. I'm back. I told you I was right. Give me the armband as well. Why not bring Johnny Evans on? Johnny Evans is looking up and going, what about me? Oh, fucking hell. What we got? How long we got? 25 minutes. Rasmus is coming on. Here comes Slabhead. God help us, says Daryl. Martial comes off. I don't know whether you saw it on camera. Bruno saw Martinez was coming off and he was like, he was fuming. He couldn't believe it. Maguire will stick his foot out and Martinelli or Odegaard will abuse Maguire. It's going to get very difficult now. It's going to get very difficult now because we've got Eriksen on the pitch, who's slow, and we've got Maguire on the pitch, who's slower than a dead cabbage. Bruno, take that armband off and give it to its rightful owner, says Michael. What an exciting game. Delo at left back has been underrated, says Zeus. It's not been an exciting game. Maguire's scoring a header, says Nemo. He can't contain... You look at Maguire's face. He really just wants to smile. You can tell. You know when you don't want to smile about something? You can just tell in his face. He's like... Oh, it must be a sign. I'm in the England squad and I'm playing against Arsenal. Arsenal fans just cheered that Maguire's coming on. Could be... We need an outlet here. Oh, fucking hell. I thought that was in from Martinelli. You know the way... I always look at the goalkeeper when there's a shot from distance. And the fact that Onana is scrambling for his bottom corner here... How close was it? Oh, it wasn't far off. Onana was worried. Onana was worried. People are going mad in the chat about Maguire. Robbo says Maguire waiting in the wings is like that Top Gear Vietnam special where they have the option to use the motorcycle, blaring out Born in the USA, one of their vehicles break down. He's booked Onana for time wasting. Again, that's 2. Huge cheers for Maguire coming on, says it all, says Shane. Call it out, Mark. Harry Maguire and the other 3 ambitious prats to the second squad. We're Man United for crying out loud, says Spencer. Arsenal fans cheering for Maguire's name. Remember everyone to be patient with Rasmus, even though we desperately need him, says Daniel. You know, I said Maguire would come on ahead of Johnny Evans. People were saying, oh, Johnny Evans will be ahead of Maguire. He won't. Suddenly we're all nervous. Huge cheers for Maguire. Done that from Shane. Well, it's defence against attack now. Harry will be all right, actually, because we're playing a deep line. Have you noticed how Maguire has... This is what pisses me off as well, right? Maguire is the 4th choice centre-back, yeah? The left-sided centre-back comes off, but Maguire moves Lindelof, or Ten Hag, moves Lindelof to left centre-back. Ben Foster said about a dead fish going with the flow. Maguire wouldn't even be able to keep up with the flow, says Marcus. Maguire did some sort of magic. No way Varane and Martinez out at the same time. I'm worried, Rajin. What do we think about that Martinez injury? What do you think it is? Because to me, that looks like it could be anything. It didn't look, you know, it's not one way you're getting carried off. It could be his foot again. It could be ankle. It could be, who knows? This is why he wanted another centre-back, says Sebastian. Spurs dangerous this year, says Robert. Rasmus getting into a bit of a battle with Gabriel. He'll bring a bit of energy up there, that's for sure. Could have had Kim Min-jae and Lindelof right now, but instead it's back to Magaluf. Glazer's out now, says it's CJR. One thing I'll say about Rasmus is, 20 years of age, he'll run around like he's bloody Mike Tyson. He don't give a shit. He's got no respect for any of these defenders. He will get in, he will get physical, and he's getting physical on Gabriel. It was a dive by Gabriel as well. Rasmus has blistering pace for his size. His desert, mate. He's going to be Rasmus is going to be a star. I'm telling you. And it's great to see the chat reacting to that. Time to buy a free agent, Sergio Ramos, says Superfly. He's off to Saudi Arabia, isn't he? 20 minutes to go. It's hard to know what to think, isn't it? Rasmus is on and you're thinking late winner. Maguire's on and you're thinking I'll take a point now. But we're up the pitch here. Whip it, Ericsson. Oh, he was looking for his teammate. His national teammate. Maguire coming on for Martinez like taking Salma Hayek for a nice seafood dinner and ending up back at home with Madge from Neighbours. Oh. Cross came in. Anthony's got it. Tries to turn Zinchenko. Cross came in. It was close. Rashford put a cross in. Rasmus was nearly there. United having a bit of possession here. Arsenal, I've got to say, whatever happens in the last 20 minutes, I don't think Arsenal have been that good. They're not the Arsenal of last year. I don't care what anybody says. They're not the Arsenal of last year. Well, why aren't the centre-backs wanting the ball off Onana here? Maguire's just stood with Nketiah, shitting himself. You've got to free yourself up, mate. This is exactly what I was scared about, and this is why we needed a centre-back. Maguire and Lindelof again. Can you believe it, says Savage. Well done, Bruno. There's no point in having an honour if our centre-backs are going to just bloody stand with the striker like that. And just like that, we are back to Mag Lindelof. It just takes a few injuries, and we're back to Ollie Ball, says Jim. We're in trouble long term with those centre backs, but we just got to deal with it at the moment. I'm really hoping that Martinez injury isn't bad. Please don't say things like that. Arsenal aren't as good as last year. We all know your jinx. Arjun, look, Arsenal could win this late on. We all know that. But in general, I've watched them play 3 games, and I don't think Arsenal are cooking at the moment like they were last season. Mark, my stomach's about to fall through my ass from the stress. Holy crap. I thought I'd see Martinez come on a game like this. Bloody hell, says George. 73 minutes gone. 50-50 on the possession. They're going to show... Oh, no, they're not going to show it. Here's Bruno. He's gone wide to Rashford. Come on. Go on. Go on. Go on. Oh, side netting. Side netting. Did he get a corner? I think he did get a corner. No, he didn't get a corner. He didn't get a corner. I'm thinking a Harry Maguire winner. Forget Rasmus. It is a corner. You know what's going to happen here? Maguire's going to be doing that to everyone. Sliding on his knees. This is the moment. This is it. Maguire. Redemption arc. Cross comes in. No. Anthony, edge of the box. Have a shot. What the fuck was that? Arsenal on the break. Where's the pace? Where's the back post? Go on, Anthony. Lovely. Go on. Move. That could have been it. Could have been sexy. Could have been a Maguire header to win it. Wasn't to be. Wasn't to be. Player ratings, by the way. You can mark every player out of 10. 6 being the average. We'll get that up for you soon. 15 to go. We'd take a point, wouldn't we? Tomiyasu and Vieira coming on. Not attacking from Arteta. Can they afford to draw another game? Oh, Jesus is coming on. I was going to say, can they afford to draw another game at home, Arsenal? Pray tell, if any Arsenal fans are there, what are your thoughts on your thoughts today? Arsenal wasn't even great last season. It's just every team around them was shit, says 7. Everybody get up. Zinchenko comes off. I think if I was an Arsenal fan, sorry, if I was anybody other than a Arsenal or Man United fan, I don't think it's been a good game, in my personal opinion. But for us Arsenal and Man United fans, it's just tense now, isn't it? I mean, we could do with a win. We could both teams could do with a win, but Bella Kotchuk was available for 15 million. Missed opportunity, says Chris. We ain't got no money, mate. Wouldn't matter if he was available for £15. Well done, Bruno. What a ball by Bruno into Rashford. God, if he'd have got that out of his feet there. No, it's too greedy from Rashford. Rasmus is going to look up there and go, mate, put the fucking cross in the box. That's your prime example of what Rashford and Anthony have got to stop doing. Put the cross in the box when the striker's there and stop taking people on. I had a nightmare last night. Maguire trade fell through and he was back on the pitch, says Uhtred. Have you heard Atalanta signed a replacement for Haaland called Isla for only 5 million? Says Enzo. I like Anthony. He's played well defensively today. Another Arsenal player goes down in the box. Saka. Anthony's best game. Haaland already dominating, says Anthony. Here we go. Ericsson, wide to Rashford. This is interesting. We've got a 3v3. Get your head up. Rasmus is there. Oh, he's bloody held on to it for too long again. He's got to pass. Why won't Rashford pass? Bloody hell. That is so fucking annoying. 2 times in a row. He's got to pass. You'll still score goals in this team, but you've got to pass, mate. You know, you've got Anthony and Rasmus busting a gut there, making the runs, and all he's thinking about is, can I shoot? Can I shoot? Got to have some creativity in that final third, in those positions. It's there to be won on the break. It's there to be won on the break. Dare I say it, in the last few minutes, we look the better side. Arsenal don't look in it. But plenty of time left. Time is it? 6. What we got? 15, okay. Of course, we've got Ericsson in that midfield. I think Dalot's been really good. I'm going to drop the player ratings into the video description in a minute. Yeah, I think Dalot's been really good when you consider who he's up against and who's out injured at the moment. Good to see. You know, I like Dalot. I know a lot of people don't. I do. Links in the video description for the player ratings now. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. I can't describe how much Rashi gets on my nerves when he doesn't pass. Oh, look, I like Rashford, James. I like Rashford. And there might be an opportunity in a couple of minutes where he's through and I want him to take him on and shoot. But there's also a time where I want him to just put a cross in. And just because I like him, I'm not going to say that he, you know, he can't be greedy like that. You know what that reminds me of? I was talking about this on That's Football. It reminds me of those, kids who play football and the parents are paying them £10 for every goal they score so they won't pass. Oh, fucking hell. An honour. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Maybe there would have been an offside. Now Bruno's on the break. If he was onside there, Saka, he couldn't finish his breakfast. It was a massive chance. But Anthony's got it up the other end. Marcus says greedy Rashford. I think Sancho will do well with someone like Højlund. We don't know what's going on with Sancho, Danny. We don't know. Gary Neville was blaming Højlund for Rashford not passing. English bias. What is Gary Neville on about, Shay? It's only because he's done a bloody big interview with Rashford. I mean, that's the problem, isn't it, with punditry? They've all got mates. This is the time for Garnacho. Rashford's got to be subbed off. I forgot about that, Alex. I forgot about that. We need Garnacho on, Patrick. I wouldn't mind that. Give Garnacho 10 minutes to run at them, but he will never take Rashford off. He will never do it. Whether he should or he shouldn't, he will never do it. Is there a late twist in the tale here? Is there to be a winner? Or has Goldbridge called it right as a draw? I want to win, though. I want to win. I don't want to draw. What's that from Maguire? Fucking hell. Get the Nacho and Palestri out there, says Daniel Lees. I don't think he's going to change anything now. I think he's just going to stick with the Rashford and Anthony and tell them to keep doing what they've done, keep putting a shift in. Arsenal are going for what? Arsenal are going for what? Is Maguire already hunching over out of breath? He looks seriously unfit to me, says Nicholas. I thought Højlund was as fast as Haaland, but he did not get away there. Haaland takes a few steps and he's gone. Højlund didn't get away, says Rogine. We shouldn't be comparing him to Haaland for a start. The lack of awareness and creativity in our wingers annoys me every game. A front three of Garnacho, Højlund, Palestri would be nice to see, says Jackie Boy. That was a massive chance for Saka. Massive chance. And it's Maguire. Fucking Maguire would have been in big trouble there because he completely lost him. Good. It's a save by Onana, but it's straight at him. But Saka should have scored. Honestly, Mark, don't you think that our wingers hamper the striker's chance? Yeah, I do, Jim. I've been saying this for a while. Garnacho's coming on for Anthony. Johnny Evans is coming on. Probably going to go 5 at the back, I presume. Casemiro has been sluggish, slower than everyone. He don't run. What's wrong with him? He needs to be benched next few games. Rashford is greedy, says Anup. Evans is on for Lindelof. Why? So we've now got a centre-back pairing of Evans and Maguire. This is real. Do these Prats understand the game is drawn? It's not drawn yet. I mean, if I was Arsenal, I'd be going for it now. Eric Ten Hag reading our chats. Bruno is back with Ericsson, says Christopher Day. Combined pace of 30. I presume Lindelof must be injured or something because that... You don't take your centre-back off. You don't take your best centre-back off that's left on the pitch with 5 minutes to go and what will probably be 10 minutes to go. I don't know what that's all about, really. Yeah. Hopefully it won't be a problem. I mean, they've not really got at us that much. Lindelof's on a yellow, says Dazzo. I still wouldn't take him off just for that. Johnny Evans and Magaluf, says C4. Well done, Delo. Well done, Delo. Are you feeling nervous, Mark? The day the season ended, to Stephen. I think people are being a bit over the top here. There's, you know, we're sort of set up to hit them on the break. There's a lot of compactness in the team. Casemiro's won it here. It's gone for Rasmus. He will get there. Can he square it? He needs some help. That's a penalty. No. It would have been soft. Eric Ten Hag doing foot squad building challenge, says DV. Jez, thank you very much. Now we need Evra for Bissaka and Beckham for Bruno, says Alexander. Look, you know me, I'll scream penalty for anything, but I don't think it was. Good pace, good to see. Rashford is the reason Man United strikers end up giving up, says Maro. Well, there was a great point before about, you know, the wingers, and we've spoken about this before we even signed a striker. Rashford and Anthony take shots from everywhere. You've got to have creativity if you're going to have a goal scorer. So they both need to be getting their heads up a little bit more. But, you know, Rasmus didn't look to pass to Rashford there. Terrified for the Brighton game, says Lee. I think we'll be all right against Brighton, to be honest. I think if we can get a point here, it will do us a lot of good. Could get more. Could get a lot more. Could get a lot more. Could get a lot more. Get in! Garnacho! 2-1 to Manchester United. What a move on the break. And it's 2-1. Have some of that. Have some of that. 87 minutes. Garnacho scores. Inspirational substitution. I think Bruno Fernandes gets the assist as well. Arsenal in the fucking mad. Get in. That's been set up. That's been set up from last week by Ten Hag. He's absolutely played it perfect. He's played it perfect. Get in. Garnacho. They're looking at an offside. Don't bloody do this to me. Don't do this to me. People are talking. There's an offside word in the chat. It was such a good bit of play as well. I think it was Rasmus. Was it Rasmus? Yeah, Rasmus into... Oh, Rasmus. He's on. Get in. Get in. He's miles on. Come on. Come on. What a bit of play by Rasmus and Bruno. He's fucking miles on. He's what? He's miles. Wow. Oh, get out. Cook a cat. Oh, you're joking. Oh. Oh. You're joking, ref. Every part of me wants to moan. Every part of me wants to moan about VAR, but we've had a bloody penalty not given. Oh, so unlucky. It was such a good goal as well. The little back flick by Rasmus, the ball by Bruno. Oh. Amazing what you do when you start passing. Lovely, says Anvil. Offside or not, Garnacho is the future, says Bobby. 8 minutes added on. You feel there might be a sting in the tail here. You feel that we've got the momentum. I think Ten Hag knows it as well. Arsenal very lucky. I've not been impressed with Arsenal. If they get a win, they get a win. But I'm telling you now, I'm not impressed with Arsenal. Man United fans are the last club that can complain about VAR, says Brad. Mate, I don't think any of us are complaining. I literally said every part of me wants to complain, but I can't complain because of the penalty. It is what it is. It clearly was offside. I'm not going to moan about it. I just think it's unlucky because it's just, you know, the thing about an offside like that is it's not planned by Arsenal. It's lucky. We're just a little bit unlucky. It is. The match is like a movie. It's got everything, says Christopher. It's been a much better last 20 minutes. I thought the first half was a bit crap. In 5 minutes, Garnacho's done more than Anthony. I'm starting to believe Anthony will eventually cost Ten Hag his job, says Kay. A lot of people feel that Anthony's had a good game. Remember, you can do your player ratings. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Links in the description. The ball to Garnacho was played in by Casemiro, not Bruno, says Darian. Thank you very much. Sorry, apologies to Casemiro. If Eric Ten Hag can make Maguire and Evans work against Arsenal, then I think Arsenal are the bigger punchline, says Desert Haunter. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Joseph says, Brad, piss off. Where's Ericsson getting this energy from? Evans is a good example where ownership and mentality, says Zeus. Chris says 8 minutes, really. I don't know whether you'd want more or less. I thought that might be the case. Didn't they say that close offsides like this would be given? The strikers would give the benefit of the doubt, says Jim. I don't know how that works, Jim, because technically people would just say it was offside, wouldn't they? I thought he was onside, but it's the, you know, we don't get the straight line view, do we? Honest opinions on Evans being signed back, says Will. Embarrassing. I think it's embarrassing to sign a 35-year-old who's just been relegated. The only reason people think it's okay is because he used to play for the club. But it's embarrassing for a club of United's ambition to be signing players like that. Arsenal would say the same. Man City would say the same. I like Johnny Evans, but I don't think it's, you know, it's Glazonomics, isn't it? We're doing those sort of deals because of who owns us. Do you think if we were owned by, you know, Sheikh Mansour or Newcastle, we'd be bringing Johnny Evans in? Not in a million years. Bruno's got to get up here. Oh, Casemiro's lost it. Nelson puts the cross in. Johnny Evans, terrible touch. Good tackle, good recovery tackle. They're still in. They're still in. Well, Wisaka as well. It's not offside and it was not a penalty. Nothing to apologise for, Mark, says Sebastian. Four minutes of the 8 gone. It's hard to think of a headline for this game because it may not have been written. Cross comes in. Johnny Evans will head that away. It was Delo. Sitting a little bit deep here. Odegaard shoots over the bar. Well, Arsenal would have 8 points from their first 4 games, and we would have 7 as things stand. So, you know, despite that loss to Spurs, it's not bad. What's this corner all about? Cross comes in. We should have plenty of people in the... Ooh! Oh, piss off. There's got to be a foul. There's got to be a foul. There has to be a foul there. Because why has Declan Rice got so much space? There's got to be a fucking foul. There has to be a foul. You cannot give that goal. Who is marking who? Who is marking who? There has to be a foul there. There's no logical reason how Declan Rice on the back post can control the ball and volley. It makes no bloody sense. There's got to be a foul. Are we not complaining? What's going on? How are we not complaining? Why have we allowed that to happen? Nobody's complaining. What's going on? I don't understand it. How is a footballer in the Premier League controlling the ball on the back post, slipping over and still getting a fucking shot off? What is this? What's happening here? No, it's crap. Look who's to blame again. Maguire and fucking Evans. Go and close him down. Bloody pair of statues. Oh, fuck off. Absolutely knew it. Knew it. Oh, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. Fuck off. Evans and Maguire are to blame for that. Pair of bags of cement stood there, not closing him down in the last minute of the game. Sentimentality FC. Sentimentality FC. I can't believe that. I can't believe the 2 goals we've conceded today. Both goals. I'm almost speechless here. Just fucking believe it. You can't believe it. You know, I don't want to hear anything about bad luck either. I really don't want to hear about bad luck. It was offside. They could have had a penalty. That was the right decision that it wasn't. Every decision has been pretty much correct in this game. Apart from our defence. Very, 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 very big win for Arsenal this. And a very, very significant loss for Manchester United. I'm telling you now, I'm watching that goal and I'm thinking there's got to be a foul. There has to be a foul because Declan Rice is unmarked, slips and still shoots. At this level of football, when you watch a game like that, you go, well, there's something's got to be wrong there. There's got to be a handball. And the reason I say that is because in this game, defenders should be reacting to that. But then you see it's Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans on the back post. And that's why he gets so much time. He gets so much time to react because Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire are slower than death. Dead people. Death can be quite quick, as you know. There we go. Oh, here we go again. Where's the fucking defence? Oh, fuck off. Just go away. Go away. Go away. Get out. Absolutely jokes. That defence with Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire in it is like, it's fucking all over the place. It's like a couple of dogs trying to shag on wearing ice skates. Bloody crap. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. You will not operate at this level with that type of a centre-back pairing. What is he doing? Why is he playing Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans? For fuck's sake, it's sentimentality on toast. He's 35 and he got relegated with Leicester. That's what's playing centre-back for Manchester United. It's 1-1 when he comes on and it's now 3-1. Because that's what happens when you play a 35-year-old who got relegated with Leicester. Maguire's not even in the fucking picture. He's probably playing centre-forward. Oh, God. It's just embarrassing. It's bloody embarrassing. Apparently Rashford backs out of a tackle. Fucking hell. If you play shit, you get shit. They've got away with that. They've got away with that. That's why Arteta's dancing like Mick Jagger. Look at him in his tight trousers. Look at me. Look at me. I'm going clubbing later to the Reflex. There's Maguire. Stood next to fucking Ramsdale. You're meant to be centre-back. Final whistle. Fuck off. Seriously. We had that. We could have won that. We should have drawn that. We just ridiculous. Ridiculous. Masters of our own downfall again because we can't defend. Oh dear, that's the final whistle. Well, look, do your player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average, star for your man of the match for Manchester United. Shocking 2 weeks and we're thinking about top four, says Roger. Look, we'll talk about it on the match reaction. We've got the fan forum as well. It's an absolutely abysmal start to the season for Manchester United. Things have got gradually worse as this season got on. We were lucky against Wolves. We got beat by Spurs. We were lucky against Forest and we've been beaten by Arsenal. And I tell you what, when you've got people like Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire as your centre-back pairing, you are screwed. People need to wake up from Disneyland. We're not sponsored by Disney. There is no happy ending. This is real life. I've just watched Declan Rice change his bloody shoes and still shoot and score because Maguire and Evans are still trying to close him down now. Absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. I'll see you on the match reaction. We'll do the player ratings. But United are in big trouble. This result was always going to be, if we win, kickstart the season. If we lose, it's not looking good, bruv. I'll speak to you on the match reaction.